Hello dear friends and welcome to our popular HARDWARIO IoT webinar. We had been missing you very much. Am I right, Pavel?
Yes, very much. Hello everyone. Hello Alan.
Yeah, it was long summer, but we were very productive.
Absolutely.
And we want to share results of this productive summer with you. Today,
this webinar is very special, right?
Yeah, it is. Because of this space, this is gonna be our new manufacturing facility.
Mm-hmm. And actually, behind these doors, which are labeled with HARDWARIO Studio, soon you will find our brand new pick-and-place machines and reflow ovens and other stuff to really produce the electronics in-house.
And today we will talk about electronics, our new product, not new product, but new generation of one of our product. That's why we have no partner with us today, but we will talk about
Chester.
Chester,
Alan refers to it as a new product, and some of you know that we have had this product actually for some time, but this is the new Chester, the new generation of the product. So this is why we have dedicated a special episode to it, because it is packed with many new features on hardware level, software level, and also about applications, other stuff we can do with it.
But I wonder how it started. No, of course I do remember how it started. It was late 2017, and somebody approached us with a very simple request.
Yes, it was a project to check forests, and this project was about monitoring temperature that should help correlation with the occurrence of bark beetle bug. So we agreed because it was interesting for us from several perspectives. First of all, it was outdoor project, and we had already some experience with LP1 technologies, with LP1 networks. And secondly, there was this emerging narrowband IoT LP1 network operated by Vodafone Czech Republic. And we wanted to have this technology because it was groundbreaking technology, right?
Right.
You could transmit from anywhere. So we agreed to participate in this project, and there was a very simple specification, right? What was it?
Just send temperature from deep forests, and that was it. Nothing
right.
special, but you were thinking differently. You realized that there is some opportunity to deliver not just a thermometer.
Yeah, I felt it would be pity just to build a thermometer within such a high-end technology. So I actually had the feeling that we could do many more applications with it, and this is why we have implemented the 2 slots on the baseboard of Chester. And we call these expansion modules Chester X, as you know it today. But we haven't actually used it for quite some time after the very initial version. But soon we realized that there is actually quite a big demand for industrial applications, for remote data telemetry, and narrowband was the technology that fits very well to this concept. So we started adding new interfaces and communication protocols and so on. So we will talk about it shortly. But this was basically the beginning, the narrowband IoT thermometer to the forest.
From that time we implemented many devices, not only in Europe, but in US and Australia. And we were thinking we have to do something different. We have to deliver something new generation.
Yeah.
So
and this is very important factor because the new generation evolves. It doesn't completely changes the product upside down, but it evolves on every single step what we have learned along our journey on the real applications, on the real deployments. And today we have hundreds of applications in the field, and we have learned what could be improved, what we are lacking of. And everything was packed into this new
we were
version.
listening to our partners and customers.
Exactly.
And that's, so let's take a look what the new generation of our flagship product Chester is. Let's see this beautiful video.
Enjoy watching.
LPWAN connectivity, flexible power supply, and a vast range of integrations. This is HARDWARIO Chester, the most configurable industrial IoT gateway for Industry 4.0, smart city, remote metering, and agricultural applications. Chester connects sensors, actuators, PLC controllers, and other devices to the internet. Flexible power supply and LPWAN communication technologies enable reliable connectivity from distant and deep indoor places. The device features a robust, waterproof, IP67 rated enclosure to withstand harsh environmental conditions. Its wide operating temperature range makes Chester suitable for use in demanding outdoor projects. There are 3 LPWAN connectivity options. The first 2 provide cellular connectivity via NB-IoT and LTE-M networks with the support of a nano SIM or an embedded SIM chip. The third option is LoRaWAN, allowing operation in both private and public LoRaWAN networks. Choose the built-in internal antenna or connect an external antenna for any of those options. For diagnostics, parameterization, and device firmware upgrades, Chester comes with a Bluetooth low-energy interface available in modern smart devices and notebooks. Chester has been designed from the ground up as a low-power device and provides years of operation from the primary lithium cells. Another way to power the device is to use a rechargeable battery backup module with the optional solar photovoltaic panel input. For applications where batteries are not applicable, it is possible to energize the device from a standard 24V DC power line or a 230V AC line. The device integrates status LED, thermometer, accelerometer, 8 MB flash memory for data logging, and 1 wire bus, allowing connection of multiple addressable devices on a single cable. The optional GNSS module supporting GPS, Galileo, and GLONASS satellite systems provides accurate tracking capability for mobile outdoor applications. In addition, location tracking can be used in a low-duty cycle, battery-friendly mode of operation. Chester is easily extensible with accessories like an external temperature and humidity sensor, battery pack, illuminated push button, and tamper switch. Together with the extensive set of push-in terminals, the wiring of external interfaces is fast and easy. The product is compatible with various industrial sensors, RTD thermometers, thermocouples, capacitive, inductive, optical, Hall switches, and many other sensors. For example, Chester can read digital inputs, talk to Modbus RS485 devices, and measure analog inputs. As a result, it can get data from sensors like pressure, flow, weight, distance, and other physical quantities. There is also a possibility to read indoor air quality data, such as temperature, humidity, carbon dioxide concentration, and dust. Also, Chester can detect events like motion via PIR detector or tilt through the integrated accelerometer. In addition, the illuminated push-button device variant provides notifications on a button press with optical and acoustic feedback.
Our partners use our firmware Chester SDK to create their applications through the simple API without the need for a comprehensive understanding of embedded system programming. With the SDK and many samples, customers can build their Internet of Things applications in a matter of days, not months. The SDK core builds on top of Zephyr OS, a real-time operating system backed by Linux Foundation with strong emphasis on security. Chester can connect to HARDWARIO Cloud and send or receive some data from it. A customer's integration is as simple as a REST API call or receiving notification via webhook to their HTTP endpoint. The product comes in 2 business models: hardware as a service, where regular fees are applied, or a one-time purchase at full cost. We will provide you with the pricing details upon request. On top of that, we provide full OEM branding, including custom color printing on the enclosure, for example, for your company logo. Get in touch with us to know more and build IoT projects for your customers today together.
We are thrilled about new generation of Chester. Hopefully you will be thrilled too. But let's talk about specific parts of new generation of Chester. Let's start, Pavel, with probably the most important thing, which is connectivity. How Chester is transferring data to the cloud and how we can talk to Chester.
Sure. This is the fundamental part of the product. And we continue with support for LTE connectivity. In the previous generation, specifically this was narrowband IoT only. But the major improvement for the new generation is that we have implemented LTE-M as well. So today we have dual narrowband IoT / LTE-M, or you may know it as LTE Cat M1. So from LTE or cellular connectivity perspective, this product is about to be future-proof for the next decade or even more, because many of you may know that actually LTE-M is about to replace 2G and GPRS technology as we know it today. So that was one thing. We have implemented the technology from Nordic Semiconductor. The nice thing about their LTE implementation is that they continuously evolve it and update it according to the latest specifications. And from the LTE modem, we have the RF signal path, which connects to the internal antenna. In the last generation, we were connecting internal antenna, but it was adhesive antenna glued on the side of the enclosure. In this version, we have integrated the internal antenna on board, and we have external UFL connector next to it. So how do we switch between those two antennas? We have used RF switch, and this is software switchable switch that decides the RF path between internal and external antenna. So actually you can decide in the field which antenna you will use. This is very practical. We learned that some customers would actually like to use just the internal, but sometimes you just need to extend the signal. So that's the first one. Speaking next LP1 technology we have packed in Chester, we are talking about LoRaWAN. And we have a second RF switch, which enables you to switch between LTE and LoRaWAN, and then this RF switch between internal and external antenna. So you have like these 4 combinations, how you can configure your communication path out of Chester. The third communication interface is Bluetooth. We had it also in the last generation. It's Bluetooth Low Energy. And we support Bluetooth from the module that also carries the application microcontroller, where we run the main firmware for the product. So this was the LP1 and short-range communication. Also, we have one more radio right on the board, which is receiver. It is a GNSS receiver, a satellite GPS receiver. Actually, besides GPS, we also support GLONASS, Galileo, and Beidou. And here we have also made improvement. We have improved the power management, so now we can be way more efficient. We don't have to always start the GPS module from so-called cold start. So if you started GPS, let's say in the last 48 hours, you can start up much, much faster thanks to this warm-up feature, which is now enabled thanks to this 2-stage power management system. So this is it just about radios.
Yeah, that's great. We can, end this block that we can transfer data almost from anywhere, because we cover narrowband IoT, LTE-M, LoRa. We can build our own LoRa network, and we can communicate with this device through Bluetooth Low Energy.
Which is very essential functionality, because through Bluetooth you can either configure the device, you can create diagnostics, you can see the logs, and you can also upload firmware via it.
Great. So now let's take a look into how to power Chester new generation.
And power supply is a very interesting topic, and we have really made big advancements in this version. And the first major improvement is that we have integrated supercaps. Why we have done it? We have enabled insertion or installation of the new type of battery. It's still the same form factor as it was before, but this new battery allows bigger or brings bigger capacity. Also, this battery is more common, and it has better, or let's say more safe construction of the internal electrodes, and it is more available. So supercaps are necessary to cover the power peaks, which are necessary by when LTE modem is joining the network, and they replace that old requirement on the battery where you had this spiral construction. So next improvement is coexistence of various power supply. So we have this connector, we will talk about them later, which allows connection of the Chester Z expansion modules. And this connector or this expansion module Chester Z makes it possible to power Chester from solar panels or DC line voltage, like we have 12 or 24 volts in standard industrial installations. So you can use Chester Z all together with its built-in rechargeable lithium-ion battery. So you can have Chester naked without the primary cell, but with this top cover module installed, and you have like steady power supply or solar panel, and even if the power supply goes down, you are still fine, probably for several months, to supply the unit. Another option I would like to mention is this expansion module Chester X4, which is, I would say, very much simplified version of Chester Z, because it only basically provides DC-DC power supply with the support of voltage range from 6 volts to 28 volts. And it can be installed just underneath the main board. So
it's great. So
this is the power supply options. All of the rails are they can coexist together, and even if they are available all the time together, there is no collision by simply ORing them through diodes. It can be powered. All the rails can be powered all the time.
So small recap in this. It's still low power device because we are trying to be a low power experts. So that's why. But you can supply this Chester with the main and other sources.
And speaking low power applications, we can actually monitor the battery voltage at rest or under the load. So which is very important for this primary lithium cells, because measuring plain voltage doesn't tell you the whole much. So
thank you. Pavel, now it's time to present and let's talk a little bit about integrated peripherals.
So to a big degree, this is compatible with the previous generation. We have integrated thermometer, accelerometer, and crypto chip. So this is what remained the same. However, one important change is that we have implemented the onboard one-wire interface. And this is really important because in the old version, many customers were connecting peripherals like one-wire thermometer, very popular DS18B20, or our machine probe, or our soil sensor. And always we were allocating one of the expansion module slots just for one wire. So we have decided to save space for other modules, and we have implemented directly the one wire on the terminal block. So this is one. Also, we have already mentioned the circuitry for measuring the battery, for battery monitoring, which was also in the previous generation added as an add-on. And we have the onboard SIM chip, and that is very crucial for application aiming at reliability, because if you add connectors, you are always somehow putting reliability in question. So SIM chip is our preferred option. However, if our partners or customers demand to have a replaceable SIM card, we have implemented the industrial grade nano SIM holder. So you have to decide basically whether you go for integrated or external SIM card option. Also, we have upgraded LED. On the old generation, we had LED always hidden in the box, and when you came to it, you had no clue or what is the status of the device. So this is why we have actually implemented the light pipe, which is always there and telling you what's the state. And also we have increased the number of colors from red to red, yellow, and green, so you can differentiate what is the current situation. You can use it for diagnostics, for example, when you connect to it via Bluetooth, you know to which unit you are connected, finally. So small things like that, but very important for the real use cases.
It's great, but we called Chester the most configurable IoT gateway on the market. Why so? Because we have expansion modules.
Yeah.
And can you describe what we can do with these expansion modules?
Yes, so the idea was simple. You have some set of IOs that are connected to the microcontrollers, and you have the terminal blocks, and these expansion modules kind of fill the gap, and they offer various interfaces like RS485 or RTD thermometers like PT1000, etc. We have really lots of modules today in the portfolio, and we are adding them as application opportunities appear. There is actually one module I would like to talk about a little bit more in detail, which is Chester X0, which we had previously, but we have also redesigned this module because Chester X0 was, let's say, hardware reconfigurable input module, and we were connecting various analog or digital inputs through it. However, we have decided that it is way better if we redesign the module in a way that we will be able to reconfigure each channel individually, and we will be able to do it via software. So we have created a new design that is able to set individual channels, the 4 channels, to analog inputs like 0 to 10 volts, very common in output from industrial sensors, or 4 to 20 milliamps. Or we support active PLC outputs, either of type NPN or PNP. And we also support dry contact inputs. So you can use it for read switches, push buttons, and so on.
Yeah, we already presented in previous webinars our projects with these expansion modules, and the list of expansion modules is definitely we are not finished with this list, and we'll add new expansion modules in near future.
But it can cover today really lots of use cases and applications.
We will wait, and we will listen to you, to our partners and customers. But these expansion modules are connected to these terminals, and this is a very visible part of Chester right now. So let's talk about these green ones and white ones terminals we have right now on the Chester board.
Yes, so I would say that the whole connector system has gone through a major overhaul, and on the previous generation we already had these terminal blocks, of course, but what we have done, the first thing is that we have doubled the terminals because sometimes we were sticking 2 wires in the same slot, in the same terminal, which is always a bit difficult. So we have created the connections between those 2 blocks in parallel. And also there is this white so-called JST connector, and it allows to plug connector instantly. So you can either install individual wires, or you will create some module that will also be equipped with such similar connector, and you will instantly snap it on. So it just fastens the procedure. Also, we have created a bigger gap between those 2 terminal blocks. And we have brought 1 wire terminal block in between them, and you can connect 2 independent 1 wire peripherals to this 6 terminal block. For the block underneath, there is this 5-pin terminal block. We have allowed the users to connect directly I2C interface. And again, this is really a nice feature, because in the previous generation we had to install actually the expansion module just to connect, just to bring these signals to terminal blocks. So now it is there out of the box, and it's very handy because we can connect this temperature and humidity sensor to it. Or we have recently introduced this dust sensor and other peripherals which communicate on a short distance. So we have talked about this bottom block, about terminals and these JST connectors which are connected in parallel to these terminal blocks. But we have also added these white JST connectors on the side. So the very first one is the system connector, and it allows to connect our new Chester Z. Which also communicates digitally because it provides from the microcontroller information about the voltage battery and whether the input is connected, what is the input voltage, etc. So there is actually I2C interface and this power signal. And there is battery 2-pin JST connector which allows you to connect big battery pack, which allows to boost the capacity of the battery to big amp hours. Yeah, we have done 51 amp hours battery packs, which is very important for some applications which need to guarantee very long lifetime. And also we have the JST connectors on the right side, and these are labeled as button plus LED. And some of our customers know that we had this panel push button, illuminated push button. So it is now easy and convenient to connect it via connector. And the last one is temper. Temper is a mechanical switch that allows detection of the removal of the cover. So just when you want to record that somebody has manipulated with the device internally, or you want to transmit the alarm message right away. So these were the connectors. Forgot to mention that the terminal blocks have been equipped with ESD protection diodes. So again, the device is more suitable for harsh industrial environments, and it can protect the terminals against voltage spikes. And we have these two connectors, and these connectors are popular interface for SparkFun Quick. And it is the big range, the broad portfolio of various modules, for instance, displays, actuators, sensors, and so on. SparkFun has hundreds of OEM boards which you can connect directly to Chester very easily without any difficult wiring. We forgot to mention push button. Of course, we have push button there just to transmit the message immediately, or to, for instance, perform the factory reset of the internal settings.
Many improvements, and all of them we did because we listened to you to make this Chester new generation perfect for you, for people who install Chesters, who are connecting sensors to it, make it easy. And so we are happy about the hardware part. And the last thing we should mention about the hardware part is enclosure, because we kept the old one, which is IP67, dust-proof, waterproof, with some improvements with this light pipe for LEDs, but it's almost the same. Perfect, Pavel. Thank you for covering the hardware part, and now it's time to go to software part.
Sure. So, speaking software, our firmware is running on embedded microcontroller, which is based on Nordic platform. It's Nordic chip. We have upgraded this one. The new generation offers 1 megabyte flash and 256 kilobytes of RAM, which allows more application options for the future. And there's been complete overhaul, complete rewrite of the firmware, because Nordic has switched to the new SDK. They call it NRF Connect SDK. And this NRF Connect SDK is built on top of Zephyr. And Zephyr is fairly new real-time operating system in the market. It's been around for 5 years, but let's say in a production-ready state, it's really new. And it is backed by Linux Foundation and big names like Intel, NXP, Nordic, and several others. And speaking the embedded field, I can pretty much say that it's probably the highest, the most active repository around. So over 60,000 commits already, and it's accelerating. So this is big for us and for Nordic, and they have decided to go all into this direction because this RTOS has been designed for the Internet of Things, which helps for this application as well. And we really leverage a lot of features from it. There has been a lot of subsystems that are ready to use for you, and we take advantage of it. And we create Chester SDK on top of this, I would say, cascade of NRF Connect SDK and Zephyr. And actually, Zephyr comes with their own tool called Vest, which allows this nesting of the projects, which is a really cool feature because it can go indefinitely. Our partners can build their own SDKs for their applications based on this cascade. And it also helps to manage the repositories because it's really big amount of software you are working with, and it gives you a lot of capabilities and libraries. So NRF Connect SDK, we use it actually in 2 instances, on our main application microcontroller and on the LTE part, because it also, as it was mentioned, it comes from Nordic. They built on top of it, and they constantly update and evolve it, and you are receiving updates for the LTE modem part. And you can write your own applications, but we are using the reference application from them. What we are doing is that we are developing our Chester SDK on top of this ecosystem, and we are offering this to our partners in open format, basically open source for our partner network. And our partners can build their applications in really fast pace. And they don't have to worry about drivers or all the onboard peripherals. They don't even have to worry about the internals, how LTE works or LoRaWAN works. We are giving them high-level building blocks, and they can start implementation right away.
They can focus on their applications.
Yes,
and
on the added value of their business, exactly.
Yeah, and keep them as their assets. This is very important. So, and I'm happy that many of you, of our partners, are already using our Chester SDK and testing what we have done, and so hopefully you will enjoy this part of our work, what we are doing for partners.
Yes, exactly. And it is not just that we are giving or offering this SDK. It's about we are providing training, we are giving support for that. So probably early next year, we will already have ongoing these training programs, how to work and how to write software for Chester platform.
Yes, we are waiting for this. Hopefully, you will wait. You are waiting for this too. Perfect, Pavel. Thank you.
But what would be the use of technology without the real applications in the field?
Right, and we can mention that we during these years, let's say 5 years, we realized that there are like 5-6 areas of IoT projects, and they are repeating and coming back. So. Something we can call performance monitoring or overall equipment efficiency monitoring. Just to monitor machine, how it works, if it works, what is the tact. And we have already, we had a webinar or case study with, for example, ArcelorMittal in this case. So this is perfect. The second area, which is very popular, environmental monitoring. Remember our biggest project in UK?
Yes, we have this project called DEFRA, and we are monitoring all sorts of things from forestry and tree growth and soil and many other stuff.
And we already expanded this project to Germany, and we are very happy about this. So this is perfect. Just take a look at the DEFRA webinar. Speaking about maintenance, not only predictive maintenance, by maintenance and facility management, very nice webinar and partner Yotor, so you can see what we can do in this area. We have started with Skoda Auto
notification
escalation
system,
system, buttons, undone system. Again, We have one nice project in Australia, which is dedicated to
energy metering. We connected Chester to Modbus energy meter. Yeah,
that's perfect. And some special projects, like with Statotest, we monitor, or together with them, we monitor statics of bridges and other construction
projects.
And or with Adastra, our sister company, we have a nice project in retail.
Smart retail applications, weight scales,
and smart shows, and much more. So this is, why we are doing this job, why we bringing on the market the new generation of Chester. And without your projects, it's going to be useless device. So let's do something with this, and we can wait, for your projects and to help you with them. Speaking about Chester new generation, I hope that you have some questions, and we are here to answer all your questions. So now it's time to go to Q&A session. Good afternoon, dear friends, and welcome to Q&A session, when we are trying to answer all your questions. So we have the first question in our chat, and please do not hesitate to ask your questions there. And the first question is from Mike Taylor. Hi, Mike. For the UK, DEFRA, which network provider are you able to use?
So, speaking cellular LTE connectivity, we can use basically any provider offering NB-IoT or LTE-M or LTE-Cat M1. Right now, our biggest partner for connectivity is Vodafone. However, we have also tried to explore other options, especially in the cases where Vodafone coverage was not available. So we have managed to connect through T-Mobile and also via Slovak Telecom, and
basically it's T-Mobile. So it depends, and we follow our partners and customer needs, and if they are in some relationship with the specific provider, we will do our best to connect Chester device through this partner. But as Pavel mentioned, right now in UK, and especially in this DEFRA project, we are using Vodafone.
And with the new Chester, we have the global band coverage, which is the most important change in terms of cellular connectivity from the old generation of Chester.
Yes. Okay, the second question, I guess, is from Brazil, for Guilherme. Hello, Guilherme.
Hello.
Very exciting, this new product. Congrats. Thank you. Sorry to ask, but as I live in a very large country, I need to know about direct satellite connection. Maybe you remember, we mentioned some option how to transfer data through satellites in the past webinar, or
yeah,
maybe I'm confused, maybe because yes, Chester primarily is transferring data through NB-IoT, LTE-M, or LoRa network. But we have a special module from Kinéis. This is a French satellite technology, and we already did some tests, and we are testing this technology specifically in some areas in Africa, because there is these networks are not that much developed. So yes, there is a option, and let's talk about this. Let's describe your project, and we will find a way how to transfer data even from such a places where there is no narrowband IoT, no LoRa, or no LTE-M connectivity. Hopefully you are satisfied with the answer, and still waiting for your next question, but we can discuss, because we received some questions before through emails about replacing GSM technologies by these new IoT technologies like LTE-M or narrowband. So speaking about LTE as a
yeah, so today,
4G,
as you know, there is also a big 5G movement, and what we can tell when we are speaking LTE, you always have to clarify which class. And when speaking LTE-M and both NB-IoT, we are talking a subset of LTE, which is categorized as part of 5G future-proof path. So definitely we know that the change is inevitable. 3G networks have been or are being shut off. 2G will be there probably for quite some time, but there are already countries, even in Europe, which have switched off the networks, and carriers in the future will be more and more shifting towards LTE-M as the direct replacement, which is better in probably all aspects. And also in LTE-M scope, there will be this roaming capability, and it will be probably the way of future. The advantage with Chester is that you are now secured for both options, because right now, especially when talking Europe, narrowband IoT is way more available, and in the future we may see that there will be actually probably an overlap of these two technologies.
Definitely. So what we are doing right now with our partners, we are talking about what will happen in the next few years. And we have to think about not 2022, but 2025. And we can see that the GPRS 2G technology definitely will be shut down because of the prices of license or license fees, because of technology itself. It has been here from, I don't know, it's like 90s. So it has to be replaced. And so we are talking about these opportunities which are coming to us. And as you know, this SWOT analysis, we have to think about opportunities and our strengths, and to use these strengths, to take these opportunities. So, for example, we are working on Chester with configuration as a remote controller. So you'll be able to remotely control some machines, some devices, and many of them are working with GPRS technology, and we will replace this. We are talking about tens, hundreds of thousands, maybe millions of devices, which are going to be replaced. And so that's why we are here. And yes, we have our eyes open, and we know what to do. So from Mike Tyler, thanks. So we are holding off LP1 until either Vodafone or O2 offers 100% coverage in the UK. At the moment, 2G is still the only way to go. Definitely. There are markets, there are some modems which are able to cover 2G and even narrowband IoT. We are not going this way because as I said, we see the future, the near future, and definitely coverage of narrowband IoT and LTE-M will be close to 100% soon.
Yeah, and also the situation is rapidly improving over the course of time. So we are even seeing that in the UK, the availability of NB-IoT and the overall network stability and everything is getting better. Yeah. And recently, Vodafone UK has announced actually much bigger availability. So this is a matter of probably more speaking some months rather than years. Yeah. And as Alan said, there will be a shift between 2G and LTE-M.
But I don't want to argue, Mike, with you. But again, when we are talking to Vodafone and even O2, and we can see that they are doing their best, to have UK covered with these new IoT networks, because it's good not only for us but for them too, mainly for them. And when we are talking about some projects you got in your mind, normally it takes several months when it will develop because of configuration, preparing firmware, and etc. So, and in that time, the coverage will be, I hope, almost 100%. Nicholas, all functionalities described in the promotion video are capable of coexisting simultaneously. I'm sorry for my pronunciation, it's too late. So, yes, I do understand your question. You are talking about how to use LTE-M or narrowband or LoRa, right? So, it's not working that way. You have to choose one of these technologies, but you can have main board assembled with all three options. I mean, the LTE-M and narrowband IoT is one chip, and the second one is LoRa. So you can do it. You can have a even SIM chip or SIM card holder on the main board, and we can
yeah, if the server application is ready, you can switch between those two in runtime.
Yeah.
And maybe also worth mentioning, because you have mentioned these combinations of Chester, there will be 4 variants of Chester, with or without GPS, and either LoRa or NB-IoT, or all of them together. So this is kind of configurable. Of course, it reflects somehow to the price, but for volume of your application, probably you will decide for one or the other. So the full version is great for evaluation purposes mostly.
So let's speculate a little bit about what we can do, because we were discussing this option that there will be a chance to start with, for example, narrowband IoT, and then remotely switch to LoRa in some cases. We can go this way. We are not ready yet, but the Chester will handle it, right? Somehow.
It is doable. As I said, probably in most scenarios, customers will, or we will help them to prepare the application when you can decide through the parameters which option you want. And as we said before, there is this reconfigurable RF path. So actually, by the definition of hardware, you have to decide on which way you route the signal from the modules to the antenna. So that's important aspect. And speaking between LTE-M and narrowband IoT, you can actually configure the modem the way that it will select automatically. That you can fix it to use only LTE-M or only NB-IoT, or you can switch it to automatic mode, and you can use both and be totally agnostic. And there are already SIM cards, multi-bearer SIM cards, which support NB-IoT and LTE-M together. Vodafone is offering those.
So that's great, and hopefully, Nicholas, you are happy with our answers. And CK Naidu, thank you for a good overview. Let's connect soon. Let's do it. You know how to do it. Go to our website. There is a form. You can connect with me or with our UK CEO Ramin. Again, Guilherme and even Erwin are asking this almost similar question about if we are able to connect some camera and send pictures or video with Chester over these networks.
Yes. So it always depends on the requirements, like what is the resolution, is it black and white or monochrome, or colorful camera, what is the frame rate, and so on. So it is all possible to calculate it, and on the market you can find lots of OEM modules which are providing, let's say, SPI output or something that is an interface easily integrable to Chester. So yes, and then it's more about creating the driver for such camera module and deciding whether my application use case will cover the limitations I have on the SIM card and on the technology. Of course, LTE-M is by order of magnitude better for such bigger data transactions. But still, even with NB-IoT, it's absolutely all right. You may have a SIM card with 10 megabytes limit, and you can even transmit videos. You just have to calculate what is the use case, how often you have to do it. And on LTE Cat M1, you can get SIM cards 50 megs, 100 megs probably. But you are in somehow that range, not gigabytes, but it's the operators, the carriers are offering 10 times bigger tariffs.
So I think that I do understand where you are heading with this question, to have a low power, battery operated device, battery operated camera. You can solve many problems of, for example, on construction sites or some remote places. And definitely we can do it, because we have some experience. Maybe you know, or you don't know about our past, but we grew up in a company which was dedicated to a security system, to burglar system. So we know that there is some empty space, there is a void, and we want to fill it. So definitely be with us, and we can create something together.
And speaking the power optimizations, you can always combine multiple sensors. Like you can use the PIR motion detector, which consumes just a few microamps, and this one will trigger, and you will start energizing the camera module, which will scan the sequence of images or record some video or single image and transfer it.
As we mentioned during the webinar, that we in one project we are using this special battery pack, which has a capacity of more than 50 amps hours, so you can use it. Hopefully, we can help you in this case. So we can wait a little bit for some other question, but you were thinking about how to better describe the SDK and everything we got, in this, because this is a big change, how to use SDK with our partners, what we prepare for them. So
well, actually the whole movement around Chester is now more about software rather than hardware. Hardware is done, fixed, we are manufacturing, and now a big long journey that is about 2 years to come is awaiting this SDK. And the good news is that everybody can install SDK on any of their operating systems. Linux, Mac, and Windows are all supported. And we are even taking a step further, and we want to really simplify the setup. So we have created already a Docker image that is able to build our Chester application all together with the SDK, with all the included components for Zephyr and NRF Connect. And you only have to install Docker and Python, and all the tool chain is already encapsulated inside the Docker image.
Yeah, and because there is no other question, I will add the last one, because many of our partners and customers are asking us almost every day about chips, if we will be able to deliver, because we know what's happening around us. And so we have perfect news, because we are just finished the purchase for the big new production batch for the next year. So we are secure. Of course, we observe the situation, and we are doing our best, to supply our partners and customers. So with new generation of Chester, we are safe. But sooner you will tell us your needs, better for everybody. Pavel, how to end this webinar? First, thank you. Thank you for watching. Thank you even to you, dear customers who are watching this webinar as a recording, because it's always hard to fit to your time schedule. So perfect. What you can do, definitely please subscribe to our YouTube channel, because we will have next webinar next month. So do it, and you can watch it, in your home. It's perfect. And follow us on our social network accounts, Twitter or Facebook, or
you can book a meeting with us,
LinkedIn.
Talk to us. We will be listening to your feedback, to your application needs. We have listened, and actually many of the things, how Chester is shaped, is by listening to feedback from our customers. So definitely tell us what you need, and you can influence and prioritize what we will do with Chester.
Yeah. And we have some thanks, in chat from Jose, because we are going to US finally, and Jose, I can wait, to be there and to present and together sell our devices, of course, to Brazil, to our partners, and can wait to invite you here in our new facility. This is, something where we want to show to all of you partners. So come to our manufacturing facility in Czech Republic, or to our offices in Cambridge, UK. If you are from UK, we are trying to go to first trade shows. There has to be some shows in December. I mean, Hardware Pioneers. We are going to Glasgow.
The climate change
yes,
event
and
in
others.
beginning
So
of November.
there will be And again, please subscribe and follow us, and you will be informed where we can meet personally.
I will be in the UK personally in the first half of November, so that is definitely a good chance to meet. If you want to, so we can visit your facility and discuss the project specifics
and show it this beauty, in person. And from Louis, thanks, and from Erwin, congrats for the new device and your exciting presentation. No, we thank you. Thank you for watching, for everything, to be our partner, and see you next month. Next month, definitely there will be some partner, and we will talk about some amazing project, right?
And in the future, of course, with you.
With you, okay. Take care.
Stay tuned.
Take care, friends.
Cheers. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.